Everyone has a neighbor that gets on their nerves. Well, in the animal kingdom, there are certain animals that don't particularly like each other. Have you ever seen a jaguar and a caiman interact? What about a moray eel and an octopus? If you want to see animals that don't get along, keep watching as we count down 15 fierce animals that can't stand each other. Number 15. Tiger versus deer. Tigers eat a broad variety of prey, including insects and elephant castes. Deer and other large-bodied prey weighing 45 pounds or more are an important portion of their diets as well. This impala walks up to this massive tiger as if it wants to recite a poem. The tiger doesn't like poetry and just presses its big paw on the impala, sinking its head into the ground. It suffocates the impala and carries it through the bush where it will enjoy a fresh meal. Deer congregate in herds and warn one another when danger looms on the horizon. Once a tiger has isolated a deer, particularly a young one, it is time to recite the Our Father several times and hope the tiger is religious so he forgets about eating you and joins in for the prayer. A small deer like the one in this video has no hope in hell of surviving a tiger attack. This deer lets out an alarm snort, calling out for help when this tiger attacks it. You can see the deer is in a state of panic as this tiger bites into it. It doesn't take much time before the deer is history. This tiger is preparing to launch an attack with a bunch of onlookers watching. The tiger uses the truck as camouflage, but I think the deer knows it's there, and when the tiger finally makes its move, the deer runs away. I must admit, this wasn't much of a move by the tiger. I think he's just warming up. This tiger chases a deer on uneven terrain, but that doesn't stop the massive feline from taking down the sweet little deer. The deer wags its tail as if it's happy, but it's just waving goodbye. The Fanatic brings you all the best content you want to see when it comes to the animal kingdom. If you want to see the latest confrontations between animals and the best animal videos, please subscribe now. We post new videos every day for your entertainment. Number 14. Scorpion versus Hornet. Let's see what happens when this huge scorpion is placed inside an aquarium with a giant hornet. The hornet goes on the offensive, but I think it took on more than it could chew, because the scorpion makes mincemeat out of the insect. This scorpion feasts on a giant hornet, and the grasshopper is freaking out because it knows it's next. The guy throws a second hornet inside the aquarium, but it doesn't faze the scorpion. The more, the merrier. The scorpion destroys the bigger hornet and then attacks the smaller one. Looks like the grasshopper will have a little more time to breathe. Another hornet is introduced to a huge scorpion, and it's the same outcome. The giant hornet is no match for the scorpion. It's Sunday, and this scorpion has decided to enjoy a giant hornet buffet. It must be ecstatic seeing all these hornets fall into the aquarium one after the other. Number 13. Moray eel versus shark. Sharks are fearsome predators, but they don't necessarily rule the food chain. In the first video, a massive moray eel turns the tables on a shark that gets too close. The jaw of the moray eel is enormous and powerful. To be successful, the eel must bite the shark head first. The shark almost gets away while it is doing this, but the eel is able to catch it by the head and guide it into its mouth, where it is swallowed. In this next video, it's a completely different story. This time, a white-tipped shark gets into an altercation with a much smaller moray eel, and the shark drags the eel out of its hiding spot and into the sea. The eel strikes the shark in self-defense, but the shark continues to swim while holding the eel in its mouth. Number 12. Lion versus oryx. Oryxes are massive antelopes found in Africa's deserts and parched plains and herds. These creatures have enormous horns that can kill even the most dangerous predators. This video shows two female lionesses about to attack an oryx. Oryx are highly spooked even by the faintest sound. Thus, the lions must be exceptionally quiet. One of the lions makes a mistake and emerges from the shadows. They keep going for it, with one lion attempting to drive the oryx to the other side. In the face of lions, the oryx is unflappable. The lions abandon the oryx, who lives to fight another day. These two lionesses didn't waste any time taking down this oryx. Although the animal battled, it had no chance and the fight was over in minutes. I'm not sure if this oryx thinks it's part of this lion pride, but it just stands next to a few lions and isn't fazed one bit. What's even weirder is the lions just stare at it and not doing anything. I guess a truce was signed I'm not aware of. I don't know if these lions are wearing the latest pair of Air Jordans, but they fly high up in the air to knock this antelope to the ground. Once the animals land, the lions do their thing and it's dinner as usual. Number 11. Eagle versus deer. The golden eagle, so named because of the gold-colored feathers on the nape of its neck, can use up to 7 different hunting strategies, each suited to the size and speed of its prey. When attacking slow-flying birds, the golden eagle, for example, flies aloft before swooping down quickly, literally knocking the birds out of the sky. When chasing large animals like deer, it flies low to the ground, waiting for the opportune moment to strike with its talons in a continuous grasp. Eagle and medium-sized animals such as geese, rabbits, and reptiles are common prey for golden eagles. However, its attacks on larger animals, including lambs, deer, and even adolescent brown bears, led ranchers in the United States to assume that the bird was diminishing their herds. This impala mom rushes to challenge this martial eagle, but her baby is already dead, so the impala decides to turn back and leave. This golden eagle flies over this mule deer as if it's about to launch an aerial attack, but then it realizes the mule deer is way too big to capture and kill. This golden eagle goes for the kill when it lands on a small deer. The man sprints towards the location of the kill, but I'm not even sure he can locate it. This gazelle mother can't do much when she tries to prevent this eagle from snatching her baby. You can see the eagle flying off with the youngster. This eagle takes down a large deer and manages to kill it. I'm impressed because this is not a small deer. It just goes to show how well equipped this eagle is. This eagle flies in and tackles this deer, and after a few tumbles and somersaults, they fall to the ground with the eagle finishing the deer off. Number 10. Jaguar versus caiman. Jaguars can hold on to larger, more powerful prey like caiman because of the way they hunt. Other huge cats suffocate their victims by encircling their necks with their mouths. Jaguars, on the other hand, kill by piercing their victim with powerful bites. Jaguars are opportunistic hunters who will consume almost anything in their path. On its day off, the caiman is relaxing at the beach, basking in the sun, when a sneaky jaguar approaches from behind and crushes its neck. The caiman's vacation appears to be coming to an early end, and the jaguar will be able to devour some fresh reptilian meat for dinner. The poor caiman hardly had time to finish his pina colada. This jaguar dives like an Olympian when it spots a caiman in the water and goes for the kill. The jaguar doesn't care whether the caiman is in the water, whether it can better defend itself. The large cat is adamant, and the caiman appears powerless to stop it as the cat drags it out of the water in its mouth. When it comes to following your prey and making things happen, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This jaguar has made a kill, as you can see in this video, but getting the caiman back to a safe spot where no other predators can grab it is another story. This jaguar appears to be having difficulty raising its dead caiman and stops. I believe it spent so much energy killing the reptile it is barely able to move it. After a few seconds of contemplation, the jaguar departs in search of a low-cost towering service to retrieve the caiman's remains. This jaguar appears to have killed a caiman, yet the caiman appears to be alive when it is pulled out of the water. The jaguar sinks its jaws into the caiman's neck once more, yet the caiman remains immobile, as though it is unaffected. Is it possible that it is dead, or is it the jaguar weary and attempting to recover before closing the deal? When a jaguar sees a giant caiman, it swims slowly into the water, but that doesn't stop the jaguar from doing its thing. In the water, the two animals wrestle, and the jaguar swiftly gains the upper hand, turning the caiman over multiple times while burying its teeth into the reptile. Meanwhile, the reptile can just sit back and enjoy the trip. The jaguar triumphs once more, dragging the caiman out of the water. Number 9. Sperm whale versus giant squid. Sperm whales are 49 to 59 feet long and can dive to depths of 3,280 feet, which is most likely where they will come face to face with their most dangerous foe. Giant squids are deep-sea monsters that may be real-life equivalents of the Kraken. The longest one ever on Earth measured 59 feet in length. Unfortunately, the titanic battles between them are rarely captured on film because they're so intense. What evidence do we have that these things occur? Sperm whales with scars that resemble giant squid tentacles as well as ingestible squid body pieces are common. The sperm whale dives for food and participates in a life or death struggle with the giant squids, and it's easy to imagine the whales losing. In this video, this giant squid is wrapped around the sperm whale's head, and it even strikes the sperm whale, cutting through its sides. But after a few spins and turns, the squid ends up in the sperm whale's mouth. This 3D video depicts what a battle between these two monsters looks like. I'm just wondering why the giant squid attacks sperm whales and not other types of whales. Number 8. Golden orb weavers versus birds. Watch this orb weaver catch not one, but 2 birds in her trap. She lays her eggs in the birds and then drops them on the forest floor, where they will grow up in a nice, dry, warm and safe environment inside the bird's chest cavity. Orb weavers only weave a few webs in their lifetime. They will devour a damaged web in order to reuse it. This orb weaver has caught a trespasser and it doesn't look like a bird. I guess this insect wanted to be in this countdown, so it forced our hand. In this video, it's a real bird this time, and the weaver's feasting on it. These spider webs must be extremely solid for birds of that size to get stuck in them. Number 7. Meerkats versus Drongo. The Drongo is the Kalahari's greatest trickster, and these are his victims. A family of meerkats, desert specialists. After warming up in the morning sun, the meerkats begin their search for breakfast. The Drongo can now begin his tricks, but he must first win the confidence of his victims. He spots an eagle on the hunt and sounds a warning, one that sends the meerkats gratefully scurrying to safety. The danger is over, and now he has their trust. He sounds another warning, but this time it's a false alarm. This allows the Drongo to fly to the ground and grab some of the meerkats' food. The meerkats fell for it. This all seems too easy, so he tries the same trick again, but the meerkats aren't stupid. They'll only fall for it once. The juicy scorpion won't be for the Drongo. Then suddenly, the sound of a sentry's warning and no meerkat can ignore it. Sentries never lie, but the sentry sees no danger. Guess who? It's the Drongo again, and this time he's learned to mimic the meerkat's own warning call, and now he can enjoy his prize. A gang of meerkats outsmarted by a bird. Number 6. Honey badger versus bees. Honey badgers have been seen robbing honeybee nests and hives in the wild. Honey badgers will most probably consume some of the honey the bees have manufactured and stored in combs during the raid. Honey badgers are willing to risk a few bee stings in exchange for honey, a high-protein food source for their young. Look at how this honey badger gathers honey by inserting his snout into the hive. I mean, I like honey as much as the next guy, but I'm not sure I'd go into a beehive to get a taste of it. The badger is surrounded by bees, yet it stands its position until it gets what it came for. This honey badger climbs up a tree to get to the honey, and a few bee stings is well worth the prize it's seeking. This honey badger is adamant about trying honey for the very first time. To do so, he must break into a hive and face the fury of a swarm of bees defending their home. The honey badger appears to be only concerned with the outcome of an attack. The honey badger will never back down from a challenge, no matter how many stings, even if it means dying in the process. Once it accepts a mission, it will carry it through regardless of the outcome. Number 5. Cheetah versus antelope. The oryx herd chases off these cheetahs to protect a young calf. The oryx is large compared to the cheetah, and it has long, dangerous horns, so it's able to fend off a smaller cat like the cheetah. 2 younger cheetahs bring down an oryx calf, but they didn't expect the calf's mother to show up and teach them a lesson. The minute they see her, they sort of panic, and it doesn't take much time before they run off. This coalition of cheetahs hunts a topee antelope and manages to bring it down. This next clip shows how difficult it is for a cheetah to bring down large prey. This cheetah hops on this antelope's back as it's trying to take control of the situation. It's bouncing all over the place because the antelope is kicking and jumping, hoping it will free itself of the cat. Just when it looks like the cheetah is bringing down the antelope changes the game when the cheetah lands right in front of the horns. The antelope charges and almost impales the cheetah before escaping. These cheetahs hunt and take down a topee antelope. The animal jumps and moves as best as it can, but when you have so many cats on your back, it's not easy. In the end, it took 5 cheetahs to bring down this topee. Number 4. Moray eel versus octopus. When this moray eel attacks an octopus in the depths of the ocean, the octopus manages to escape, but not without losing one tentacle. This moray eel grabs onto this octopus and pulls it towards itself violently. The octopus doesn't seem to be doing much, so I'm not sure how this will end. This moray eel attacks and chews on an octopus. In a matter of seconds, the eel swallows the octopus. This octopus defends itself by grappling the eel with its tentacles and releasing an ink cloud to aid in its escape. The eel manages to bite off part of the octopus's tentacle. An octopus can lose a tentacle and regrow it later without any permanent damage. With the octopus gone, the eel moves to another target. This octopus is big, but it doesn't stop this moray eel from biting one of its tentacles and tearing it off. I guess that's all it's getting for now, but it must be a tasty appetizer. This moray eel goes ballistic on this octopus and pulls as hard as it can to tear off one or more tentacles. However, it looks like this time it's the octopus that has the final say. Number 3. Ants versus ants. Fortunately, red ants do not pose a significant threat to your home. However, red ants, particularly fire ants, can be exceedingly dangerous in nature because they are more aggressive than black ants. Black ants bite as well, but only when they feel threatened. These red ants battle a couple of black ants. They look like swashbucklers on the rim of this glass as they swing and miss. The red ants are slightly larger, but the fight seems to be even. An ant colony decides to raid another colony. The defending colony soldiers come out to defend the territory and fight to fend off the raid. But resistance is futile in the face of such overwhelming odds. Nothing is left behind. Eggs, larvae, workers, pupae all carried back to the coral nest. Loaded with honey, the repeats are the most valuable plunder of all. Some are dismembered and drained underground. Others are dragged to the surface and hauled back to the victor's nest. But they can be a real challenge to maneuver across no man's land. This is how most clashes between honey ant colonies are played out. When this man raised a boulder to take a few pictures, he accidentally linked 2 ant nests. These black Polyraches and red Phaenogaster ants were then attempting to keep each other out of their nests and steal their cocoons and larvae. A weaver ant fortress comes under attack from a neighboring colony. But is the home guard enough to defend the nest? If the home defenses fail, the colony will be wiped out. Some of the defenders deploy their most potent weapon. They squirt formic acid. The stinging liquid halts the invaders in their tracks, and now the home guard can go on the offensive. The home territory is secure once again. Number 2. Orca versus seal and sea lion. Orcas knocking seals off snowbanks by creating waves was thought to be a myth, but when you watch this video, you can see it's real. The seal is barely waking up and is thrown into the water by a huge wave, and that's when the orcas strike and kill the seals. The way the orcas cooperate and strategize to force the seals into the water by creating waves is unbelievable. Killer whales have arrived at shore for something to eat. A herd of sea lions may be their first victim. If the sea lions stay well up to the beach, you might think they would be safe, but the hungry whales are very daring. Now, several of the whales are hunting in a group. That sea lion was just keeping ahead as one of the whales was caught by another it probably hadn't seen. The way they beach themselves and grab the sea lion is beyond understanding. This savage beating may be to separate hide from flesh, but very often, the successful hunter takes its victim straight out to the sea without even killing it. Number 1. Cat versus birds. A priest had finally convinced this atheist pigeon to take communion when an agnostic cat thought it was a bad idea, so he kidnapped the bird. But the priest came right on time to save the potential follower. I heard the priest burned the cat at the stake. What looks like an ocelot had just killed a beautiful macaw and is carrying it to its hideout, high up on a cliff, away from any potential predators or scavengers. I'm not sure if this bird and cat are friends, but the cat keeps pouncing on the bird without killing it. The bird remains still for a few seconds, and as soon as it tries flying again, the cat knocks it down. Eventually, this bird will be in a coma. This Bengal cat chases these chickens just for fun. Its intention is not to kill the chickens, but just to get a little exercise and drive them crazy. This stray cat attacks a crow and tries suffocating it. The crow battles, but it looks like the cat will be taking its lunch on the road for today. It's clear some of these animals don't like each other. My favorite has to be the orcas and the way they hunt on the beach. I've never seen anything so amazing. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 15 fierce animals that can't stand each other. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.